There we go.
Yeah. Gotta love it when I screw up that intro.
Wouldn't be us if you didn't.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Comics Underground Live. I am Peter Orchard. We're joined here with my co-host Jake, Brody, Stanley down there.
Oh.
Rock on.
Let's
nice
go, dude.
Blowtorch.
Yeah, that was a nice touch. I like that. So, what's going on, guys? We got a lot to talk about.
Dude, I'm ready. Let's get to booking.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
So
It's that time.
First things first. We're gonna get right into it. I've been getting some mail, and I'm expecting some more mail coming soon. But for right now,
It's all
I wanted
bills.
to bring up this awesome. Yeah, don't even get me started on the bills part. King Cryptid. I just got issues 5 through 9. Yeah, buddy. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 5 through 9. Jake got his. He's finally going to get caught up. I haven't read them yet, but the first 4 were awesome. So I'm super excited. Thank you, Pete Cimetti and Alterna Comics. I'm actually going to share screen here. King Cryptid.
I got their fall season back in 2024, and they put out good shit, man.
Yeah, they do.
This isn't some arbitrary stuff. This is good enough for the shelves. I should be seeing this stuff in local comic shops.
Yeah, it might be actually because my comic shop has Alterna on the shelves.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm actually gonna go looking to see if they got it because I got signed copies. I always get the signed
He
copies.
already had those out there. Damn. All right.
Why would anybody not get the sign? Can you explain that to me, Jake?
What's that?
I hear get the book signed or not, or pay to not have it signed or something. Why would anybody not want to get their book signed?
Fuck, dude. If you ask me, I'll sign it. If I'm too dumb to put like a little like $2 or $5 add-on tier for you to like sign your book, if you just ask me randomly, if I forget, I'll fucking do it.
Does that play into PSA grading? Like,
I think it might.
It can.
That sucks.
But why wouldn't you want it signed
like
anyway?
negatively?
Well, I'm not sure how you would verify that signature, except if anybody knows, then you obviously can get that signature fairly easily.
I'm gonna create a comic book, and I'm gonna sign it all with like a nail.
It's gonna hammer a nail through it.
No, I'm gonna sign it. Like I'm gonna sign my name, but like just scratch the fucking shit out of it.
So I want to use one of those.
Nail and blood.
Oh,
yeah, I'm only
on that.
I'm only gonna do that for like one like issue, and then the rest of it I'm gonna do all like normal, so that it's gonna be like Paul's nail phase.
Wait, are you aware of Stan Lee's Blood comics?
No.
So towards the end of his life, there was a nurse or somebody. They were taking his blood and selling it to the company or something, so that they could print. They put it in the ink of the books, and there are actual books with Stan Lee's blood in them. And they're like, it was not authorized.
That's
all right.
Shit right there.
Okay. We want to take this up a notch. We can take it up a notch.
Yeah. I don't want. Yeah. Do we want to know how?
Yeah. We don't want to know what other fluids you're going to be using, Stanley.
Please explain yourself.
It'll be fine. You see, he used blood in his ink, and everybody knows that blood, it's not going to work well with anything. You know, it's probably going to darken some reds and stuff like that. However, one of the issues that you're going to have with printing inks is the opacity of some of your colors, particularly white.
Oh, God, it did go that way.
Oh.
Pay extra for those.
All right.
Yeah, white blood cells.
Is what if you want quality, like, read. You know what I mean? I don't think they care if they can read the book or not.
It could be more of like a cream or ivory colored, wouldn't it?
The pages are going to be all stuck together.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm curious if that's one of the things, right? Because the ink isn't gonna. The ink will dry, but that doesn't mean that the blood and the coagulation. I don't know how that works. Would it flake off? That's weird. But anyways, we got King Cryptid issues 5 through 9 right now. You can go over to Indiegogo and check this out. And these books will be getting to you pretty soon, like pretty much as soon as you order them, 5 through 9. Mm-hmm. And like we always love to talk about, King Cryptid and Alterna Comics, their books. Look at these prices, dude. And these are solid floppies, by the way. Five solid sloppies. Solid floppy, solid
sloppies,
floppy solids. Oh shit! It's been a long.
You got
day.
your name for your comics.
There we go.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna call yours. Your sloppies.
Yeah, I'm gonna call them my sloppies. That's pretty good.
You found your comic logo.
Issues 5 through 9 for $15. That's half what you pay for most 25-page, 30-page books. That's a steal, and you're gonna get 5 comics.
Yeah, I got the 1 through 9
sloppies.
Here. I got the 1 through 9 catch-ups here. $25. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'd keep up because I'd almost never miss Alterna. I do need to get caught up on the next bundle that he has. Which, if you want to also get this either here or you can go over to alternacomics.com and he got everything he has, and he has a bunch of stuff on this website. Look at all this glow in the dark t-shirts up to 3X. That's what I'm saying. That's the one I need
for them big boys.
Yeah, and then he's got glow in the dark covers, like what do you call it? Sketch covers, so you can have somebody sketch over the glow in the dark. That's pretty sweet. Go get some sloppies, folks. Go get some sloppies. And tell Pete Sametti that you want 5 sloppies, please.
And when you get them, tell them thank you.
Yeah. Say thanks for being so badass, dude. And then, of course, also, issues 10 through 13 is in demand right now. Same deal. You can get the... oh, he's got a puzzle on this one now. Nice. He's always got really cool stuff. I love his ingenuity here. You can get the issues... digital for $5. You can get the trading cards. Oh, that reminds me. I'm going to make myself big real quick. I'm going to show y'all what I'm talking about here. These books always come with fun stuff. We've got this pretty awesome a print. Now, I'm kind of curious what to do with prints. I know some people have places to put them. Like, I'll maybe get one of those trading card binders and put it in there. But this is still pretty cool, and they make pretty good bookmarks. But never mind that, because he put a bookmark in there, and I do like a good bookmark.
Dude,
and that's a cool bookmark.
I don't know about you, but like I feel like not enough of these guys are taking advantage of the obvious here. Like there needs to be a bookmark. There needs to be a bookmark with every book.
You know, Kenneth Rocafort. Kenneth Rocafort did like sketch, and Kenneth Rocafort's an amazing artist. He did a sketch. He was doing sketch bookmarks, and putting them in, or like auctioning them off or something. But what is that? That's like an advertisement. And then I love it, and I got to put these in my my Cyberprog trading card binder thing here. But I love Alterna's trading card. I like the trading cards coming out of some of these campaigns. So I like every time I see trading cards, I'm like, hell yeah, sign me up. And it's nice when a company or when somebody has a lot of trading cards. And I think Pete Sametti, Alterna Comics, I think they're getting up there. Like with like Cyberfrog's got over 100 trading cards you can get. But Alterna has 2 or 3 sheets, maybe 4 sheets worth of cards. So that's cool. It's a fun thing to do. It's like collecting. It's fun again. It also came with this cool thing. It's like I don't know what it is, like a special access pass. It's cool. It's kind of holographic.
Yeah, like it goes on a lapel or something.
Yeah. So I'll be able to get access.
Is that a QR code? Does it actually do anything?
Oh shit! Let's find out.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute.
He's gonna take his phone to like boobies.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, well, if we're going to do it,
sites.
Let me make myself big just in case it does. All right, here we go. Camera. Take a picture of that QR code. All my lighting is screwing it up. Oh my god, can y'all see that?
That is gnarly looking. I'm tripping balls.
It's like, okay, hold on. What are we doing here? Hold on. Pull up that. There it is.
You got it. You got it.
I got it. Where's it taking me? What the hell? I clicked on. Oh, there it goes. My phone's just slow. It's taking me to Alternative Comics.
Okay.
Please enter password below.
Oh.
Is it on here?
Fancy, Samedi. Very fancy.
Is it Necrorg? Bro, if it's Necrorg, then I am a hacker, as the kids would say. Nah, that's not the right password. Well, what the shit, man?
Is it under the QR?
No, there's nothing on the QR. I thought it might have been this Necrorg up here, but
I like that. I like that. Maybe it's like something like maybe the password is hidden in the passages of the book.
maybe it is. Oh, dude, that's a good idea. I'm gonna have to like read.
Remember
the
that
book.
one.
Yeah.
Remember that.
If it's not in the book, that is a genius idea.
Yeah.
But knowing like Pete Samedi, I am willing to bet you're absolutely right. I'm willing to bet that password is in the book somewhere. And I could probably like skim through it to find out. But we got 5 books to kind of like skim through here.
Yeah. Like
Kind of reminds me of like older comics where you had decoder rings.
Yeah.
That's fun, dude. And that adds a whole nother level of entertainment to these books.
It'd be really gnarly if, like, inside the story, like somewhere in there, they're like breaking into a research lab and they have to like type in a password to open the computer, and that's what accesses your QR code. That'd be pure genius.
Yeah,
that is good.
I'm betting it's in the kid. There's like it's like continuing stories, and one of them follows these kids.
Okay.
One of the cool things I like, to anybody who's not familiar, King Cryptid is kind of like the opposite side of the X-Files. X-Files is the government agents trying to find all the whatever, the cryptids and the monsters and stuff. This is from the monsters' perspective outside of the government, kind of like watching. And so it's got several stories that it follows. The artwork is amazing in all of them. They're like top-notch books. I cannot believe this guy. I can't believe Alterna is pulling. What is it here? Where's my share screen at? Where'd it go? 10 through 13. He's at 3,700. Now this is probably in conjunction with his website, but still, it may be Fund My Comic, but still, he's got to be at like 20, 30 grand, dude. These books are way too good. Way too good. It is cheap. And that's the problem. Like, expensive-wise, they're top-notch comics. Like,
I like the paper inside the King Cryptid books because it reminds me of the old, like, 70s, 80s paper that you can... It actually feels like it went through a printer. It's not that, like, slick, plasticky type paper, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This feels like I picked up, like, a Golden Age or a Silver Age type book. It's like newsprint, like those classic. Oh man, okay. I'm not gonna start. I want to start reading them, but yeah.
He's getting distracted reading the book.
I am. I'm getting distracted looking at them right now because I'm like, I want to find the password, dude. I'm almost positive that you're right. The password has to be because it didn't say login password. It said guest password.
You're not gonna find the password unless you have the red-blue glasses that came with the other thing. Like, there's a multiple step process here. You're not going to figure this out over the stream.
That is the kind of, and Pete, if you're watching, he's probably not watching, but if Pete everybody should go send this to Pete. If that's not the case, bro, that's genius, man, and that's perfect for King Cryptid.
I've been looking for a challenge, something like that, to do on like my own YouTube channel. Yeah, you watch. That's going to be my thing for 2025. I'm doing that. Do something
where you hand out cards or something. That's a genius idea. I've always telling you should do trading cards, but with like fish of the South Texas. Like, here we go. Here's We got another outdoor crew in the chat right here. Grant McIntosh, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, Grant?
Mr. Orchards, cheers to you.
Welcome to the party.
That's time for some rum right there, man.
I don't have a Grant McIntosh sticker on my fridge. I got him elsewhere. You know what? I got one I need to put on there.
If you're curious, you can go check out Outdoors. It's Outdoors Live, the Outdoors Crew.
Outdoors Live crew.
Outdoors Live crew. Yeah, and you can find them through Stanley's channel over here. That's what is your YouTube? Just Stanley.
Stanley Orchard.
Stanley Orchard at YouTube. Of course, you can always go follow Jake over at Bionic Bro or Twitter at Tail End Studios. We're always talking and having fun on Twitter. So
yeah,
tweeting everything. Also, tomorrow night we're going to be on Jake's channel talking. What are we talking about tomorrow night? We always have fun discussions.
We're going to be talking some updates that I found out for some of the DC and Marvel films. We'll be talking about some of the books that we've backed recently, kind of like we're doing here. And then I think we're going to present some kind of chip that we might be doing down the line when everybody gets one.
Hashtag more Peter. Yeah, man. And then Friday night we'll also be on his channel. And Friday night is going to be interesting. It's open mic night. We're going to invite some creators to come on board. I don't know if we should stick with that time limit, but we'll see how that goes. Let them talk about their books, have any questions, get answered, come join us. If you have a book that you want to promote, you want to talk about, then come join us. The link's going to be probably in the chat.
Yeah. It's only our second one, man, and people enjoyed the first time around, but we didn't get that many people actually coming up on the panel. So I'm hoping people grow a pair and actually get on there.
It's what's great about it. I mean, it's Friday night, so there's a lot going on. And but the thing is, you can catch the replay if you're just interested in seeing how it went. But if you got a book you want to talk about, whoever's streaming, forget it. Go check them out later. Come on and get on the stream and talk about your book, because there's nothing more important than that.
Dip your toe in the water, see how it feels, get used to it, and come back again.
Yeah, definitely. And it's fun. We're, if we say something stupid, then you could totally call us out on it. Yeah. Some may say, or sown may say never. We totally screwed up that one. That was a funny. If you're curious what we're talking about, that was on your Jake's channel last week. We were critiquing a misspelling of a word, only to realize we were the idiots. It was not misspelled. We just didn't look at the right word. It didn't say sown. It was clearly an N, not an S. It was like that fancy lettering like you see at the beginning of Bibles and stuff. But Jake told me it was an S, and I believed him.
In my defense, there was so much detail.
Huge difference.
Yeah, right? And to be fair, there's so much detail in that book, Band of the Crow, that it's easy for Jake just to say that it's an S, and I just believe him because I didn't even try to second guess it or use my own intelligence.
It was just
I just believed him.
Caveman.
Apparently, the word was none, and when it was called out, I said that is absolutely none. I tried to tell Jake earlier it was none, but he didn't believe me, and I just went with it because it's the channel.
Bullshit.
But yeah, totally. That was awesome.
I was just following orders.
Grant says drop the Friday link.
Oh yeah, you got it. Is it ready to go?
I'll go.
All right, grab it, throw it in the back, and then I'll put it in the chat. Oh, wait,
yeah,
are you modded?
Pin it in the chat.
You should be modded. If not, yeah. I don't know how to pin it in the chat, but we'll figure that out, and I'll get it in there because it's a lot of fun. Even if we're just sitting there kind of shooting the shit. We ended up going for almost 3 hours, right?
Yeah, it's insane how long we've started going, man, and people seem to enjoy it.
Yeah, man, it was a lot of fun. I love talking about all these books. King Cryptid 10 through 13 is in demand right now. That book's coming out next. He's also got Blood Moon, a King Cryptid and Blood Realm crossover. And Blood Realm is another fun, awesome book you can get over at alternacomics.com. There's 13 or 15 or 16 or 20 issues or something. There's a lot of Blood Realm books, and they have a crossover, and I'm loving every minute of this, man. And again, $25 for that was like a graphic novel. That's not a floppy. That's like a bigger book. Total backers $239, and I like how he keeps everything updated here.
There we go. I just put it in the private for you.
All right, let me take this, and then what do I do? Just copy. All right, Stanley, how do I pin it? How do I pin it to the chat?
Is it in the comments? Is it in the chat?
Now it's in the chat. And
all right, now on the right side of the screen in the chat in there in StreamYard, there should be a star.
Oh yeah.
There it is. Right. Look at that.
Wait a minute. It says I can put user in timeout. Can I put myself in timeout?
I wish. I've tried.
Oh.
I tried to put you in timeout. It wouldn't let me.
Oh, it says can't ban a chat owner or moderator. Damn it. I'm totally against wrenches. So even my own wrench for my own channel, I can't even get rid of my own wrench.
You nerfed your own mod?
Yeah. I was on Danger Vanessa's channel, and I told her I absolutely, under no circumstances, want a wrench because I will definitely abuse it. And what does she go and do? She wrenches me. So the first, I of course had to spam it with my, I had to spam it with my channel and everything.
Dude.
Grant's got it. Hell yeah.
When we were in the oil field, everybody had one of these, like the big guy. And Peter's is bent at a 45-degree angle.
I have one.
Because
where did I put that?
Somebody gave him one of these, and he wasn't going to let things go. He just wasn't going to let it happen. So his only solution to that problem was just to bend the shit out of it. Mine works. Mine's fine. It's his. It's all screwed up.
I've got it around here somewhere. That is a good story. It's because he was like, so I was working at this place, and then I was working at a news station, and I had to go take a bunch of. I was taking out an old satellite dish, and it was all bolted into the ground for like the past 50 years. And so he's like, "Here's a pipe." My boss was a hard ass. He's like, "Here's a pipe wrench. Go get those nuts off," and then. So I'm trying to do it. I can't get those nuts loose. They're like welded shut. And so he's like, well, here's some WD-40. Here's a blowtorch. Blow on, get it hot and then use that WD-40. It'll come loose like nothing. Man, I spent like a couple of hours, like literally, he would not let me. I said, I need the torch cutter. I need to cut those bolts, man. There's no way they're coming up. And he's like, what are you, stupid? Just go do it. And so I was like, all right, bitch. So I went out there with that pipe wrench, and then I sat there for like 4 hours pulling on hard as I could, man, trying to get those nuts loose. I could not get them loose. And then at the end of it, I'm looking at the pipe wrench, and it's like bent. It's like bent. Jake, you've seen it. I showed it to you, right? I told that story. And so I still have that pipe. I went and dropped it on his desk and was like, boom, I need that torch cutter, or you're going to have to get me another pipe wrench because this thing ain't working anymore. And he's like, holy shit. And so we ended up getting the torch cutter and cut those bullets. We were like basically clearing the cement. There's a cement block. We were trying to get rid of the satellite dish that didn't work so we could put a generator there. And we needed to bolt, a new thing in this spot and had to get rid of the old shit. Anyways, so I hang on to that.
You're saying that the heat really gets to you.
It's also South Texas, so it was super hot. And I get really angry when people call me stupid. And so I will bend a pipe wrench to prove you're the stupid one. I just spent 4 hours and your pipe wrench is broken. You're stupid.
He will pet the fuck out of that mouse.
So I hang on to that.
Long story short, do not make Peter a mod.
Yeah, that's right.
He doesn't like wrenches.
I'll bend it. I'll bend that fucking wrench. And then hang on to it as a keepsake to remind myself of my own determination.
Shoot, man.
Anyways, Grant's sub number, what is that? Number 66? Hell yeah. Jake's moving on up, man. We gotta go over there. Everybody go over to Jake's channel and subscribe. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed to my channel, by the way.
Yeah, we've already done that by now.
Yeah.
Do all the things.
All the things. Go get Blood Moon. And Jake, you also got some stuff in the mail.
I did, man. Are you ready for that?
Yeah, you got King Cryptid, but then you got the one that I didn't get, and I'm I'm jealous, dude. I
I'm
want it.
telling you. Well, we looked at this one on your channel first, I believe, right?
I think so. Yeah, maybe.
So this one that we've been looking at this one for weeks. Just
it might have been on your channel, and then I went back to re-look at it.
Okay.
And then found some discrepancies, which turned out to not be discrepancies,
right?
Which is actually common on this channel, by the way. and then we find out that's actually the best thing we've ever seen, and it's the only thing we ever wanted. Happens all the time.
So these, I thought they were going to be regular sized books, but no, these are oversized.
Oh, I love oversized.
So
there it is. Hold on, I'm gonna make you big.
These are called Bolt Action. So this is the first cover. This is issue 1, and these are thick, dude. These look at that side.
Oh yeah,
thick boy.
How much was that book? That one book, or how you got 3 of them, right?
I got 3 of them, and with shipping, it was around $43 for these 3 books. But they're thick. Look how much reading
material. Dude, that's like what? Like 12, 15, 13 bucks each?
Right.
15 with you include shipping.
Exactly.
That's pretty damn good for 15 bucks. How are the books? Have you had a chance to check them out yet?
I haven't read them yet, but I've looked inside, and they're all black and white. But the first book reminds me of the yellow paper that we were talking about for King Cryptid of the Gold and Silver Age.
Oh yeah, that old newsprint.
But the art inside is what really grabs you.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
There we go. You got to put that on there, don't you? Because my channel, of course.
I thought you'd appreciate that.
I actually do appreciate that. Kickstarter covers right there.
I mean,
dude, the fonts, the penmanship on that, dude, I love that.
There's something about that page I really like. I couldn't quite. Oh shit! Hold on.
Aside from the titties, it's still excellent art.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah,
sweet sugar.
I like that. I like those. I mean, that book, those pages.
I'm not one to buy the smut comics, right? Like the selling point
Me neither.
that they had on the actual campaign page was really good. You know, it's like a haunted, movie theater burned down, and then the souls of the people that died in it go about, and all this stuff ensues. And I was like, that's a good selling point. I don't care about the smut on the covers.
I actually like that cover though. That's a cool cover.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Ooh, that's a cool cover too.
These are really good.
What's the other cover? What's the other cover? There's 3 of them. I've seen 2 covers so far.
I dropped it, but see.
Oh yeah, I think that's my favorite cover. Actually, Bolt Action 4 had a cover that I liked the most. Something about the colors or something.
Bolt Action 4?
It's also available. There's a Indiegogo for that one as well. Or it's Fund My Comic. I don't remember. Do you remember what that was on?
No. But these are illustrated by Grindhouse Cinema. That's the home for Bolt Action Comics. And I was wondering about the names that created this book, man. And because I recognized one of the names. Right? So where the fuck are the names at?
Oh, I'll be right back.
Well, they say it's Grindhouse for a reason.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, look at the ads on the back. It looks like the old school movie theater.
I love that style.
I do too. And so I haven't read them yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. And yeah, these are like the old like horror thriller type comics, that remind you of like, oh, what's that? It's Grindhouse Films, of course, but
it's like Robert Rodriguez on paper.
Terror Planet. What's that one movie with not Russell Crowe, but
Planet Terror, and I think the other one was just straight up called Grindhouse.
Yeah, Grindhouse, but there was one that Death Proof.
That's it.
Yeah.
So these, if those kind of films are up your alley, then I would definitely get Bolt Action Comics because these are awesome. I got awesome little tchotchkes with them too. Like
Cars, Sex, and Violence.
These posters are phenomenal. these little like poster cards.
Everything
Yeah.
a boy needs.
That would look good.
Yeah. So you get cool little poster cards to go with them. It looks like an old, like, you know, movie poster in the old style. And so and they give you this awesome little like ticket so you can be part of the Grindhouse. So this is your ticket to go see the Grindhouse movie comic books. It's really
That's
awesome.
cool.
If you ever meet the authors, you should have them make a hole punch in it.
Yeah, no right? Doubt. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Oh.
What they ought to do is, like, if you know, by chance that ever got made into a movie, then they need to accept those at the theater.
And you can get your copy because it's being fulfilled right now over on Fun My Comic, Bolt Action 1, 2, and 3.
It's insane that it's being fulfilled because they haven't even hit the full funding yet. They haven't hit their goal, but they went ahead.
That's a good point.
They sent me the books anyway. That's awesome. I think this is more of a storefront than anything.
Kudos.
Well, Bolt Action 4 out right now, so I'm wondering if this was either a second chance or, I guess, like you're saying, a storefront.
Right.
But still, you're right. 91% funded, and he's already fulfilling the books.
Yeah,
that's
look
awesome,
at that
man.
art.
Classy move.
Yeah, the art sold me. They're
Plus,
great.
yeah, Bolt 1 through 3 set, $35 plus shipping. Hell yeah, that's a good deal. And those are big books.
I love oversized print. I used to hate them because they wouldn't fit in my long boxes, but dude, they're so much better for the art that's inside.
Yeah, I'm actually digging them.
A long box, or what is it like Peter has, a triple X box?
I got a sloppy box, box of sloppies. Oh, this is a cool cover. Yeah. Oh, we got our Kickstarter covers. There it is. Go check it out. And he's also got. There was that other book, Dead Crew or whatever, right?
Yeah, just click on the Tim Tyler face and it should take you to it.
All right, let's see what else he's got. I don't know anything about Tim Tyler. I've never heard of him until we started looking at these. Engine 1. I don't know anything about Engine 1 or Age of N. They all look like pretty cool. I do like the artwork. Dead Crew 3. This is the one that kind of started us down this rabbit hole, which is one of the fun things about this crowdfunding stuff is going down these rabbit holes. We saw this and we're like, well, how do I get Dead Crew 1? How do I get Dead Crew 2? And then trying to find it. And okay, it's kind of difficult to get those issues, but at least Dead Crew 1. Which we're like, okay, so what's going on with this guy? And then we find out he's got these other books, and we're like, holy shit, those look a badass. And I like this cover right here on the right over here. Let me scroll down. I think it's down. And this artwork, I love this. I like this sci-fi tech shit, dude. It's something about it. Just like every time I see that Kirby tech looking stuff, I go crazy, man. This cover right here, I love it. I like the colors. It's fun. It's just looking around. So this is another one. I'm curious to see how this one turns out. I might have to, when I get a little bit of extra, cash, I'm going to go back and get these books.
Hell yeah.
So there's another book that we talked about on your channel. We did a review of this issues 1 and 2 of the Mythicals. Now, the Mythicals is now at issue 3, so you could go get all 3 over at Indiegogo or Fund My Comic. He's got that campaign on both. Looks like at Fund My Comic, he's 400% funded at $4,000. He's over on Indiegogo. It's in demand, which means he got funded. Anyways, Mythicals 3. This book. Book 1 was interesting. Book 2 was an improvement. Book 3 looks way better than both of them, and it looks like this is where we're gonna get some action. It's looking like the story's starting to take off. I mean, look at this right here. Hold on, let me open a new tab. This page right here. Look at that.
It looks like a new artist came on too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. And he hit me up after we did our review and everything and was talking about it. And I'm excited. Issue 3 actually does sound pretty awesome. And so you get issues 1 and 2 is already done. I'm not sure how long it's going to take to fulfill this book. It's in demand, so it's not going to be long. It shouldn't be that long.
Right. Now, there's a huge difference in the art and the way that the bubbles are set, the speech bubbles are set up. So when he heard the criticisms or the critiques from other people that have backed it, he took that shit to heart and ramped up his game. So that's what happens when you get critiqued. You don't need to be soft and whiny. You need to listen and then execute.
Yeah, and he did it great. And we were kind of going, not I wouldn't say we were terrible, but we were like digging into it, going like, okay, so this is what I would do. This is kind of something that I had a thing with the first issue. The second issue was much better. I think the only things I had to mainly critique were with the art, the black and white checker pattern on the floor of that one. I think was the major thing I talked about in that one. But issue 3 is an improvement on both of those. The artwork looks better. The story looks like it's about to go crazy. And I don't know who this is. This the same girl? Did she get her hair dyed? Oh, look at that right there. That's what I'm talking about. Mythicals 3, man. Go get caught up. Look at that cover.
That's the best cover in my opinion.
That looks like it could be like a Spawn cover or something. Who is that? Who did that? It says Nastos and Jimmy Reyes. Oh, that's the cat that we were talking about in the book. When we were reviewing it, that's the cat. Wolf of Thorns. What does this say? Cover B. Anchor Colors team from the Mythicals team finishing it off. Alan Goldman turned in this. Okay, so it's. Well, then who's Nastos 24 Reyes? Is that Jimmy Reyes? I don't know who that is. Wrap around. Oh, right here. Dimitris Nastos turned in from issue 2 was so amazing. I asked him back for Samuel's close-up. Inker extraordinary. It is Jimmy Reyes. Jimmy Reyes lent his talents. Legendary Spawn colorist Dan Kemp. What did I say? That looked like a Spawn cover.
Oh, big time.
He's got a Spawn colorist on there. Dan Kemp. That's a cool-looking cover, man.
Mm-hmm.
So Mysticals 1 through 3, go check it out. It looks pretty cool, man. It's definitely picking up. Definitely looking like some fun stuff's happening here. Is that the artist from the first book?
Yeah, that is the first book.
Oh, this is the first book. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, where's the third book? What's going on here? Let's take a look here. Mythicals. Sketch cover. We got that cool thing. Ah, look at that.
6 a.m.
6 a.m. It's a good campaign when you got 6 a.m. on there. Or it's more like it's not a good campaign unless you have 6 a.m. on there. You know what I'm saying?
Damn straight.
Stretch goals. I love stretch goals. This is what makes it fun. This is another thing that makes it fun. At $2,500, every physical backer will get the colored version of the Chris Leithwood of the print above. Wait, the print above or below? This is like the print right here. Okay. There are some pages I'm holding back due to spoilers, but there are some choice selections at various stages of completion. Oh, yeah. I remember this page.
Yeah, I think I showed that page to you.
Yeah, we talked about this page.
Yeah.
We got to talk to him about this page.
Yeah.
There is a cat. I was hearing meowing. I was like, what is that? We were looking at the picture of the cat.
He's on the cover.
And I was like, is it
It's this
meowing
guy.
at us?
Right here. It's this guy.
They've added sound effects to Kickstarter and GoFundMe and Indiegogo and all those sites now.
Yeah, dude.
Make you crazy enough to...
It's definitely not the stray cat that's wandering into my garage over here.
He's got the pages that almost the exact pages we talked mostly about on our review.
Yeah, you don't throw up old pages on a new campaign.
No, this is the book. This is a campaign for the old books, so it makes sense. Okay. It's issues 1 through 3. So I'm actually kind of curious about issue 3, but these are some pages from, and we talked about this page. I'm pretty sure, right? Because we were talking about him throwing that log and being like
the end of the book because I didn't like that panel.
Yeah, well, that girl, you should show her getting smacked in the face with that log. More than you should be showing this guy throwing that log. I want to see this. I've seen some legs at a log, but I'm not sure exactly what's happening there. And then he's like, "Ow!" He's like, "Fuck you!"
Werewolves of London.
And then we got this. All right, cool, man. Well, so go check it out. It looks pretty cool, man. Mythicals. And I figured I'd bring this up because we did talk about it heavily, and he does have issue 3 out now. You can get all 3 of them. For how much? How much do you think it costs for issues 1 through 3? Catch up tier 2, $45. And you're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 books. Is that right?
That's not bad for 4
No,
books.
wait. Catch up tier 1, $25.
What's the
Not bad.
There looks like there's supplements or something in catch up tier 2.
It looks like a sketch cover is included.
Oh, okay.
What is tier 1? You're going to get Mythicals 2, cover B, Mythical. Oh, you can choose which cover you want. Mythicals 3.
That's pretty neat.
It comes with Mythicals 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and a sticker. Yeah, all right. That's what I was curious about. Catch up tier 1, $25 for 3 books. That's really good. That's a good deal. And they're fun books. How would you liken this book? I was thinking Buffy the Vampire Slayer meets like Alias.
Yeah, so I was thinking more along the lines of like Hellboy and that kind of thing, but there really hasn't been enough monster stuff taking place yet to make that equal ground for that kind of thing. So yeah, I think Buffy and Alias is a good one, or the reboot of The Mummy with Tom Cruise. It feels more like that, where they're like trying to get the old like classic monsters into this organization, and they go out and try and defeat darker entities.
Yeah. Like yeah, I can see that. Definitely. All right. So
BPRD. Yeah, kind of like that, more or less.
Hey, what's going on, Ben? Yeah. What was BPRD? That was the was that the dead something or whatever? They're like the dead PD, dead police. I remember that
with the dude and I think Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I don't remember what BPRD stands for, but I do remember that being like the dead police. All right, so here we go. We got an update for everybody. This Saturday, you got to go check it out. Hold on. Okay, I had to burp. So, Graveyard Shift. Oh, okay. Hold on. My computer just screwed up on me. I don't know what happened. All my pages just went dead. Hold on.
Oh, I wish we could like focus in on his face while he's freaking out about that.
Oh, there we go. Bureau of Paranormal Research and Defense. Thank you, Ben. All right, this Saturday, John Malin's got Graveyard Shift Volume 5 Second Chance campaign. I'm going to share this. This is the last campaign. This one is closed. If you know John Malin, he does not leave stuff open in demand. He wants you to get in, get it now. But like Graveyard Shift Volume 5, which is now closed, he does give you that second chance. And there's new offerings in the second chance. There's no sign-up page. There's nowhere to go right now. But this Saturday, John Malin's channel, or I'm not sure if he's going to launch it on his channel or on Ethan Van Sciver's channel, but don't miss out. Graveyard Shift is awesome. I really like Graveyard Shift. It is like the X-Men meets Universal Monsters. It's like how I've heard it.
Yeah, Grody can speak to it too. What do you think about it?
About that Graveyard Shift?
Yeah.
I liked it, but it felt rushed in some parts.
Right.
Okay. I could see that, and I agree with that, especially in the first. Okay, so what I've got here is the Volume 1, which is one of the things that I like about what John Malin does with this book. He condenses them into Volumes 1 and 2 into it. He's also got issues 3 and 4 condensed, I believe, which I'm sure are going to be on here. Yeah. All right, so he condenses them, and I like that. Volumes 1 and 2 did feel a little bit rushed to me, which I like John Malin's artwork, and I wish he had done the volumes 3 and 4, but it looks like he's trying to find a solid artist for those books. But once he goes live, I want to look at that campaign. We're going to talk about it. John Malin's books get a little bit pricey, but what he does make up for it with these condensed versions that you can get caught up, which is why I'm excited about this particular campaign, because there's a lot of supplementals that I have not been able to get, except for Omega Storm. Omega Storm is this one right here. And I love this cover. And
That is a good cover.
it's signed. I like that. Omega Storm's thick too, dude. That was a thick book.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
thicker
like
than
as
3.
thick as all 4 volumes of Graveyard Shift.
That's insane.
Yeah. So, yeah, Omega Storm is totally worth it, and it's a good book. It's fun. It's actually pretty fucking bizarre. It's bonkers. And here we go. Anyways, that's going on Saturday, so go check out that channel. We'll definitely be talking about it next week on my channel and wherever else it's live. We're going to go check it out.
Right.
And going to kind of explore, see what you're going to get. I'm curious to see if he condenses the supplementals, right? Because I want to say he was condensing the supplementals. So this is my supplemental catch-up. Not going to afford like some supplementals. January is a rough time to be launching books, by the way. There's not a whole lot going on right now.
Everybody's disposable income is gone.
Yeah, right after Christmas, we got tax season coming up, but it's kind of like everyone's starting to like recoup. So right now is a crazy time to launch. So I don't know what the hell he's thinking. But if you're ever familiar with the John Malin campaign, he launches, he goes for 30, 60 days, and then that is it. You got to wait until the next book launches. He does launch Graveyard Shift maybe once or twice a year, though, I think. Last year, he did Graveyard Shift 5, and then he did Godlike. So he usually does about 2 campaigns a year. So this is going to be your chance to get caught up on Graveyard Shift. And then I'm thinking Godlike, he's going to probably... He already did a Godlike catch-up tier, didn't he?
I think so.
So we're waiting on Godlike 2, which I'm excited for. And actually brings me to the kind of a topic of conversation. I don't know what you guys' thoughts are. Now, I don't know if y'all have read Godlike. Y'all have read Graveyard Shift.
Right.
Is there... I had a discussion the other day. There's a lot of people that are like... There are some people that don't like Godlike. Because at the beginning of Godlike, it has... 2 pages... Yeah, 2 pages of exposition. Yeah, right? Is that it? Yeah, 2 pages. Let me share. Let me just share. Because I got to say this. Saw the layout. Let's start. If this counts as a page, then 3 pages. But this does not count. This is simply like a... What do you call that when it starts off the story? It's like a little... 10,000 years from now, the galactic wars have ended and a new dark age has begun. And yada yada. And then it goes to explain the planets. And all the planets around this big planet, all the moons of this planet, and it kind of... So there's a lot to read here, right? That's a lot to read. I don't know, it's hard to read sometimes, but that is so much to read. And then, just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, there's that much to read. And then, oh my god, there's even more to read. But now we're starting to get some artwork to look at it, right? And the artwork is amazing. I love John Malin's artwork. But every time I hear anybody talk crap about Godlike, it's always the same thing. The structure's wrong. The exposition dump at the beginning.
Right.
I just showed you that exposition dump. It is possible you could have explained some of the basically when we're looking at this page with all the planets. Okay, That's explaining what each little moon does and like what their purpose is in this whole storyline. It's not crazy exposition. In fact, the in my opinion, by putting it all at the beginning, it sets the tone for the rest of the book, which is kind of dark, kind of crisp. It's like dark and bleak. And once you get past those grueling, excruciating 2 pages of horribly expansive, elaborate dialogue, well, then the story kicks off and gets like real exciting, lots of fun. In my opinion, what do you think, Grody? What did you think about this book? Do you think this book is completely horribly written, or was it actually pretty good?
I want to say I actually prefer if you're going to do exposition, I prefer it when it's in the very beginning, like done like that, because you don't want it scattered throughout the rest of the story, hogging up space when we're wanting action to happen. It's kind of like thinking about like if you're watching like Dune.
That's
Dune
my example.
When Dune first opens up, it shows you like, okay, here's the different planets. These are the different factions. You don't want like Baron Harkonnen going, I am Baron Harkonnen from the planet Gedi Prime.
And then we're going to get our exposition scattered throughout the story. Like you're going to understand as we go along. Like, here's the information you need to get it started. That's kind of how I felt. And the story is pretty cool. It's like what would you do that? It's like Sword in the Stone.
Like
a little bit of Dune.
Band of the Crow, when it first opened up, it dumped its exposition in the first few pages. Good, we're off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. The same thing. Now, some would say that, and in fact, you're absolutely right. There's a lot of exposition at the beginning of Band of Crow, and according to some people, that makes the structure horrible in that book, because they say that this book has horrible structure. And when I ask, what is wrong with the structure? Well, the exposition dump at the beginning. That's not a structure problem, for one. And two, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of, with some exposition at the beginning. You could sprinkle it throughout the story, but then you're kind of like clueless as you're reading.
Yeah, it sounds like they're bitching that he's writing his exposition like Michael Bendis, and I don't think that's an accurate take.
Yeah, and I think it's a personal beef. And I'm saying, like, get real, man. If you're saying that... Now, granted, the people that I talked to that said this book was horribly written, they said, godlike bad. Dogman, good. They defended Dogman for hours. And I said, but Dogman... Hold
up. That's not the same. That I don't even care if people said that. Anybody who says something like that, their opinion is just null and void at that point. There is solid criticism. There is solid reasoning for the concept behind, cutting the fat. All of those planets that they showed in the beginning of that book, it wasn't necessary to give 100% of the explanation that was needed for all those planets. You could probably give the explanation on 1 or 2 of the planets, and the reader could literally read between the lines and kind of figure out what's being said about other planets, or if necessary, explain those other planets later on. You didn't need to dump all of that all at once.
Maybe put it in the supplemental, because John loves the supplementals. And I haven't read the supplementals of the Godlike book. Again, I'm waiting for the next catch-up tier so I can go get them. Because
I did say this earlier, like on one of our previous shows, like it's better to show, not to tell. But
it's part of the storytelling thing too.
Well,
everyone can tell a story. Everybody can tell a story, but the real talent behind telling a story isn't just getting from point A to point B. It's getting from point A to point M and figuring out where to put point K and C and maybe cutting out point F, to make this a different trajectory of a story.
You know what?
Point F is crucial. You need to have point F.
Point F. B/C. But that's actually legitimate, thought process. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by all that, but it's still more than I got from anybody when they say I don't like that book. That book is horrible, and anybody who likes that book is a retard. And I'm like, well, that's me. I'm not a retard. I'm pretty sure, and I like that book. So what's wrong with it? Tell me, because I'm retarded apparently. What's wrong with that book? And then they're like, well, exposition dump. John Malin's an asshole. I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't have anything to do with the book. There is one problem with that book, and I keep mentioning that there is one problem that I have with that book, and oh, hold on, I keep getting
Well,
distracted.
you are an artiste. It's something that you're going to pick out, not the normal eye.
Yeah, well, maybe, and I mean, maybe I'll talk about that, but I haven't told anybody what the one problem with it is yet, but it's definitely not this exposition at the beginning of the story. This is like essentially the same as Dune,
so horrible.
The beginning.
Look at
It's
that. That's
so horrible. My God. If only Dogman were here to save us. Because this too many words bad. Words bad book.
Yeah.
Pictures good.
English is hard.
It's so hard. I'm like, come on, guys. Y'all just you're saying Dogman. You're saying Dogman is good, but Godlike is bad. That's stupid.
These are the same people that have Grok or Chat GPT writing their comics.
You're right.
Maybe.
Yeah. Or coloring them, like drawing them.
Right.
So I really like Godlike. I think the structure is just fine. You get a little bit of it. You get the exposition at the beginning. This is what's been going on because guess what? We're 10,000 years in the future. Humanity's retarded. There's a lot of shit going on in the future. There's some some planets and some stuff that's going on. Maybe some of it is kind of like not unnecessary, but then again, maybe not. I don't know. We'll get to issue 2 and find out.
You know what? I got something to say about that, though, because I've seen that book, and the first couple of pages were difficult. I recall how difficult it was to get through that exposition. But despite that, it was a high-quality book. The artwork was absolutely gorgeous, and the quality of the print itself is like if I'm printing that quality of work, I'm going to cut as much fat as possible because I don't want to pay for any extra pages because that is an expensive quality print. He's actually taking the time to do some like story building, love it or hate it. He's putting some story building into the beginning of that story. And even if it's a slow burn, he's doing it on high quality material, which means he is picking and choosing his battles as far as what pages are necessary to be printed. And because of that, I'll suffer through the slow burn at the beginning of the story because everything else was so much better. Like the whole thing was so good quality wise after that.
So when it comes to exposition, we got some information we got to get out there. We can do it like that. Would you rather have it like that? Or would you rather have it in news articles? This is a thing that he does in his stories from time to time. I will say I would rather have it like that than... Okay, it's just that one page of news articles. A lot of stuff we got to go over. That is an exposition dump right here.
Is that in Graveyard?
This is in the Graveyard Shift Omega Storm.
Yeah, he does that a lot in Graveyard.
It's helpful if you haven't read the other supplementals because I had no idea who any of these extra characters are, and this basically explains all the characters, where they're at in this particular story. And then kind of gives you a little bit of glamour, what the hell's going on with them. And then a little bit more news. That's a lot. I will say that's a lot. But honestly, it didn't feel bad. And whenever you're trying to explain this dude wakes up.
Yeah.
He's like, Rachel! Right, hold on. Omega
That's
Storm.
me waking up every morning.
Let's see if I can do this right. Let's do this right. This is the first couple pages. He goes, basically, a guy wakes up, and I don't know who this guy is because I hadn't read the supplementals, but apparently he's like a superhero, right? He's like one of these superheroes. He wakes up, he's like, oh, God, where am I? What happened? And then he's like, Rachel! Where's her fucking head? Her head is gone! That's his wife. They're here.
Now,
they're superheroes.
That is exposition.
Yeah, you almost don't need the rest, but I did because I didn't know anything about what was going on, who these guys were. But then you, what the fuck, Mike says, what's up, Peter? What's going on, man? Thanks for joining us.
Mike?
I'm talking about, we're talking kind of a little bit about John Malin, his writing. I'm not sure how much is John Malin and how much is other people in this, but there's like a theme going on. A lot of people don't like exposition. Apparently that's really annoying to some people. I don't mind because in this book, all that helped explain everything that I have not been able to get caught up on yet. So, Graveyard Shift.
Appreciate you, Mike.
Graveyard Shift 5 will be doing a second chance launch this weekend, and I'm going to get those exposition books, the supplementals, and get caught up even more.
Catch up tier that's solely 4 and 5. 4 and 5 are the only ones I'm missing.
Bionic, WTF, Mike. So, I was just kind of curious, and that also leads to the question: is it even possible? Is structure when it comes to comics? I've been critical of some books because of the structure of the books. Mm-hmm. But then after having this conversation about the structure of Godlike and how it was horrible, which I didn't, there's nothing wrong with the structure of Godlike. It's, you get this information at the beginning, but then after that, it's like story, let's go. And you got all action, you've got everything that's rising and everything. Basically, the hero comes in later. Like, you find out there's this sword. It's like He-Man. There's a sword. There's a sword and a stone kind of a thing. And then only the one can pull it from the stone. Otherwise, everybody's dead. Or if you pull the stone and you're not the one, then you're dead. So some people think they're the one. There's a lot going on. There's the evil bad guys coming and wiping out. Basically, they've taken over the universe. There's only a little bit of humans left. And they are going to just wipe them out real quick. And at the last second, we get our hero coming in to like gain the power, I guess you could say, which makes me excited for the next issue because there's a lot of open, like there's a lot of, oh my God, how's this part of the story gonna, where are we gonna go from here? Like there's a girl character. I love the way John draws girls, but there's
the power.
Yeah, he has what's his Saba? What was his Saba? Yeah. Right. So where's that girl, dude? There's this girl. She's like reminds me of what the girl from Blade Runner should have looked like. Ooh, that's a good picture right here. It's
Can
like
you go full screen on that?
Yeah. That girl in Blade Runner had that black bar across her eyes.
Right.
Well, he's like using that as like a character thing here. But she looks way better. I love his costume. I like the way he draws, man.
That's the deluxe model. You got to pay extra for it.
Yeah. So there's some stuff that happens with her, and then you kind of like, what's going on? You've got like your coolest, your badass bad guy here. I like this. It's good. There is nothing wrong with the structure of this book. It is very entertaining. And you know what? Some people want to bring you in with like cool QR codes that lead to reading the book to find the passwords. Some people say, hey, here's a shitload, a fucking shit ton of dialogue to read. And then you have to read it and then reread it. And then you're like, oh my God, I want to kill myself. There's so many fucking words on a page. And then you get it, and then it's like, you know what I mean? I feel like I got my money's worth from this book. There are books that I'll get, and I'll read in 20 minutes. And they're good books, but I'm like, all right, well.
I
read this book. I read it 4 times. And I feel like I learned something every time.
I would take exposition in a book done, correctly and more so than having trinkets come with the book that explain everything for you already as you're going in. Because I don't care about tchotchkes explaining the world to me. You should be able to do that in your book, period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's going to be points, like as a storyteller, you have to be able to have the holes in your story that the reader will figure out. Like you have to have faith in the reader being able to, figure out what's going on, regardless of like your ability to spell out everything along the way.
Right.
And that can be a difficult thing to do. You're talking about the structure on this book, and I'm not going to say that there's anything wrong with it. I think it's just fine. There's no issues. I wouldn't change anything. However, I'm not going to say that that's perfect. I'm not going to say that beginning part couldn't have been better crafted
Sure.
As far as like leaving some things for the reader to figure out on their own.
I'm like, yeah, I agree with that. It could definitely have been done differently. That might have been better, Probably. In fact, yes, there definitely could have been a better way to do that. But I don't know if that matters, is I guess my point. And when it comes to structure in a comic book, is that a thing? It is in regards to like some
I think
books.
it is. Yeah,
it is, but when you have like floppies, I've got some X-Men issues where literally nothing happens in the entire issue. Yeah, we're following up on. There's like several stories going on at the same time, but literally nothing happens in the whole issue. There's zero structure in that book at all. It's just a bunch of
just because somebody does a thing doesn't make it right.
That's true.
We're not necessarily saying that those were just because X-Men did it doesn't mean it's good. Just because Superman did it doesn't mean that's the right thing to do, and you definitely don't want to be copying them just because they did it.
Well, the argument would be made that those books are coming out every month, and so you could have a book that could slip by that was like a dog shit book.
And they're supposed to be part of a bigger story. Like your structure, they're a small portion of the structure of a larger story, if that's the case.
Yeah, that's true. If you could like put them all together and like trade paperbacks, and you have a complete story, and they do follow the structure, so that's true too. And when it comes to these, because these books don't come out every month, but they're bigger, but they still, they come out once or maybe twice, sometimes a year. That you kind of need a little bit more of a structure, but I don't think there was any issues like that. To be honest, To be honest, I don't think there's any structure issues at all with this book. I think the exposition at the beginning, mind you, this is going to be the first book in a series. That's the exposition you need to get going. And once we get some more books under our belt, that I think will fit just fine. I think it'll be just fine with this book. All that exposition. It's not even like it's exposition. That's a bad way to say it too, because it's like it's not. It's explaining the planets, and I guess it is exposition, but it's not like the history of. It's like this planet does this.
It's more like a plot dump.
Yeah, it's maybe. Yeah, I don't know. It's not even a plot dump. What do you call that? He's explaining all the significances of like each planet in the solar event that's happening during this war that's about to come to an end because humanity is fucked, and we're about to get our asses kicked. And so this is kind of like explaining all the different moons of this planet or whatever that. I guess you could just call it exposition because it's an easy word to use, but I don't know if it's exposition. It has nothing to do with the main character. It has nothing to do with really like.
It's setting up the story. It is like structurally it's a setting up the story, and there's different ways you could have done that. And no, I don't personally agree with how he did it. I'm fine with it. If this is like one of like, I don't know, like a 6 or 8 part series.
Epilogue.
Then that's going to be like that's going to be an awesome, beginning to a long read that's like, Dark Tower style. I'm good with that. But if it's like, 3 comic books that we're going to get out of this, 3, larger size, even. And they take up a large portion of that first book the way that they do, and it's only going to be 3 comics, I have a little bit of an issue with that. But if this is Dark Tower series, dude, it's fine. Like, it's going to be a long read. Yeah. Enjoy the journey.
But here's the thing. I read this book and had no issues with that. Like, those through 2 pages. I had no problems. And then somebody was like, "Oh, that book is horrible." So I read it again. Like, is it horrible? Am I stupid? And I read it again, and I was like, I like it. And aside from that one thing that I don't like about it, and then I read it again, and I was like, dude, 4 times in, this book just gets better and better every time I read it. Like, I understand more. There's a lot, but that reread, to me, the reread is important. The reread is important. Just like a movie that you can watch again and again, right? It's like,
yep.
And every time you watch it, either you gain something every time you watch it that you didn't get before, or like this, Altered Carbon. I've watched that show so many damn times, and I learn, and I get more out of it every time I watch it. What is this? What's going on here? Ben and Jake are having a conversation in the chat. Sorry, prologue. Epilogues are at the end. Oh, yeah. And then Jake says, I've made the same mistake, Ben. LOL, you're forgiven. And they were both hoping that this would just go under the radar. Not on my channel. I'm calling y'all out. Well, the funny thing is, Ben's like, epilogue. And I was like, yeah, epilogue. That's the one. The epilogue of the story here at the beginning.
It's all the same. I'm sorry, it's all the same.
Yeah, the song. We're super smart over here. Man, I read this book and I liked it. I think this is a great book, and I can't wait for part 2 to come out. To somebody to come out and say that book is bad, but then, okay, for one, that's stupid. That's retarded. You're dumb.
Yeah.
But then to prove you're dumb by saying Dogman is great, and then arguing with me that Dogman is great. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? What am I doing with my life? I got out of
the
there.
End of that conversation.
Like, yeah. What am I like? Who am I arguing with? I get it. Bros, I get it. I get why some people are like, I'm surrounded by idiots.
It's a fucking bias, man. You can't give into it.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So, anybody who says godlike is bad, objectively bad, is an idiot. Because that's stupid. There are books that are
when they're saying there's problems with the structure. I'm not going to say the structure is perfect, but what they're actually saying is it has words, and words are bad. Words
are bad in a book, and
words are hard.
There's nothing wrong with the structure, and when they can't define what they mean by that, but they say the exposition dump at the beginning, it's like, okay, well, what's wrong with the exposition dump? It's like Dune. Dune has the exposition dump at the beginning of the 1984 Dune movie. And that movie's great. I love that movie. It's fascinating. And
to be fair on that, two of my favorite movies all time are the absolute worst about the slow burn at the beginning. Two of my favorite movies, one of my favorite books, Dark Tower series I mentioned, they're like that. Like, that's a long series. But Jaws and Jurassic Park, you go like 60% of the movie before you see the dinosaurs or the shark, you know? Yeah. So, you can do that. I don't like he did not accomplish that in Godlike in the same way that Jurassic Park or Jaws did.
I just feel like
that's where I set the bar on that slow burn beginning.
I think after issues 2 and 3 come out, after he gets some more issues, I actually think that exposition madness at the beginning is not going to be an issue. I think you're going to read it and it's going to be fine because there's going to be more to follow the story. It'll all make more sense.
Or even Star Wars with the beginning crawl.
Thank you. The beginning of every fucking Star Wars movies has a dump on you. So you don't like Star Wars because you had to read for 2 minutes?
Yes, that's exactly. But see, that's an excellent point. Star Wars did it. And they did it, honestly, in the stupidest fucking fashion ever. You start that movie with a literal exposition dump, and they don't even go, like, showing you pictures or, like, this is what happened before, or, like, in our last video, kind of YouTube-style presentation, they're just like, fuck, let's throw 5 paragraphs on the street. You can just fucking read it. We'll make the fucking weird angle.
If you want some big exposition on a film, and it's my favorite comic book movie adaptation of all time, and I will die on that hill for this movie, but the exposition dump at the beginning of the film of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1990. April O'Neil is talking about that fucking Foot Clan for 5 fucking minutes, just going across New York in the alleys. Oh my God.
That's a good point.
Yeah. It was fun. You had those guys stealing that TV from that grandma sitting on the.
That is fun.
Cardboard
dude,
TV.
And she goes, "What the hell?"
But it's April O'Neil, dude. You get to look at April O'Neil at least while you're hearing this whole thing. You know what I mean? Take some notes, artists. If you're going to have this multiple page dump of these things that need to be told in order for people to understand your story, at least have Deadbolt. What's the name of that?
I'll be right back.
Have Bolt Action explain it for you.
Right.
Two of the planets close together with erupting volcanoes.
Right. Show some of the action if you're going to be doing exposition. Don't just throw it on a black page and be like, all right, got it out of the way. That's page 1.
Yeah, for the love of God, do not put it as like a bunch of like words going up the page at an angle. Fucking
We need the
space.
jiggly keys on the side to keep everybody, fixed.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Oh my god. Yeah, there's quite a few movies that have done that with exposition, but I guess people forgive movies for doing that because you expect. Fuck, even Sam Raimi's Spider-Man with that fucking monologue from Tobey Maguire at the beginning of the movie. That was gut-wrenching.
Or any time you have heard about Batman's parents.
Yes.
Anytime. That's anytime you hear about his parents, you can be watching The Watchmen and you see the stuff in the background of the beginning credits about Batman's parents dying in the opera.
Yep.
Like
in every Batman movie.
Yeah. Every time that's explained to me, I want to dance with the devil in the pale moonlight. Just pull the gun. Just do it.
So I wanted to check out. Well, real quick, before I'm gonna bring it back around here. Graveyard Shift Volume 5 is have a second chance this coming weekend. I'll keep you posted next week if you're not familiar with John Malin, because I talk a lot about Comicsgate and these guys and everything but one of the things about this show is that I'm trying to get people into crowdfunding and kind of like learning about the indie comics, kind of like getting into the crowdfunding space. It's a lot of fun, and Comicsgate's got the best crowdfunding space. So this is like one of those books that I'm excited about. But John Malin, who used to draw for Cable, for Marvel Comics, he drew Cable. He's a great artist, and I think he's a great storyteller. I love reading his books. Graveyard Shift Volume 5 is going to have the catch-up tiers. If you're not familiar with Graveyard Shift, it's like Universal Monsters meets the X-Men. And he's going to have a second chance. It's only going to be open for a short amount of time, maybe a month, I think, possibly 2 months. He'll have it open, and he's going to raise what he can raise, and he's going to print it, and that's it. The value of the way he does that, instead of leaving it in demand, which is where, once it's funded, he'll leave it open for a while to later gain some extra money so he can print more books and everything. But the value of doing it the way he does it means there's going to be a limited quantity. So all of these books, these first prints, are way more valuable because there's a limited quantity. Hence why I'm excited for this campaign that he's launching on Saturday for the second chance, because I'm going to get some of the catch-up tier of the supplementals, like the extra books that have like backstories and stuff. I want to get those because I haven't been able to back them on the other campaigns. I can usually back like 1 or 2 books, and so I'm like excited to go get those to get caught up. They're all going to be worth more money, but they're not going to be worth as much as the original book that I didn't get to back the last time, the actual book. If you go to eBay and look at the prices of some of these books, holy crap. I tried to go get the supplementals for Graveyard Shift, and it was in the hundreds to go get those books.
Are you missing all the supplementals?
Yeah. No, except for Omega Storm, but yeah, all the rest.
Well, okay.
So Omega Storm, I saw that cover and was like, I have to have that cover, dude. That cover looks badass. But yeah, man, we're like talking hundreds. So go get it now. It will retain its value. That's one of the advantages of doing it the way John Malin does it. I try to have like money saved up so I could go get these books on there. Another book that we're gonna get an update. Let's get some updates real quick. Actually, I only have like one update because the Mythicals was the other one. Cash Grab. There's a lot of books that we can get updated right now, like Reaper Destroyer. We talked about that one last week for a minute. Mm-hmm. That one should be fulfilling any day now. It's also in demand.
It's in the beginning of fulfillment. I saw some pictures of him taking it to the post office.
Nice. Awesome. So if you go get Reaper Destroyer, that artwork is amazing. It's like Spawn. It's like it looks like a Spawn book. It looks awesome. And you'll be getting that book real quick. So anybody who's new to crowdfunding and everything, this is one of those campaigns that would, Reaper Destroyer is one of those campaigns that's fulfilling right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just like King Cryptid, we were talking about at the beginning of this show. Those are some books that you'll get quick when you order them. You're not going to have to wait. And that's one of the things about crowdfunding is that there are books. If you get a book on day one, like I've gotten some books on day one, it takes some time because the guys have to go make the books then. You know what I mean? But when they're fulfilling, that's the time, man, to go get in there before they close that campaign. Right now, Cecil's Cash Grab 2 is over on Fund My Comic because he got kicked off of Indiegogo for being too offensive. I love that, dude. It was he was making he wasn't making fun of. He had a trans person on a cover drawn by Dale Keown.
Yep.
And apparently Indiegogo doesn't like trans people because they nixed that cover. I think he has it on here. Let's go take a look at it. I love this cover. This is my favorite.
I feel like
cover.
that was written in the stars for that to happen because it made it essential for everybody else to go over and check out Fund My Comic. And now waves are going over to Fund My Comic.
I would really like to hear their DE&I rules over there.
Over at Fund My Comic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
DEI.
We could probably get Luke Stone. He's the guy who started it. We could probably get him on the channel.
Hell yeah.
He's all about it, man. He made this website specifically for this reason. Because people are getting kicked off of these big platforms for having offensive books. Like this kaiju cover right here by John Malin. It's a kaiju.
Since when did comic books become offensive?
This is the Dale Keown cover of Cecil.
Since they had to they had to do the comics book code because of comics being offensive. So
those man
they'll have
titties
to have
are
a whole
cool.
new code with CG.
it's a look on, dude. It's his thumb.
I mean, it's his like little hint of dick right here.
His thumb is the issue with that cover.
With this
We need some
cover?
censor bars for them titties.
Oh, you're right. I bet he did it on purpose. That's like
Probably.
Dale Keown, dude. Dale Keown's a genius, man, with his artwork. But I think this was the cover, or maybe the mention of the fact that Cecil in issue 1 ends up having to go to a prison, and so he becomes a woman, so he can go to a women's prison. And Indiegogo thought, no fucking way, we're not doing that. There's another cover.
Oh,
Cash Grab is hilarious. It's about our character here, our hero, Cecil Jones, who ends up, he's just kind of a piece of shit and ends up in his own shenanigans. It's a funny book. Get the backup tier if you're not familiar. It's totally worth it. Does he have the other backup stuff on here? He has a book making fun of Doug TenNapel. Dirtworm Doug. If not, it's on eBay, and you can get it pretty cheap. But the artwork's awesome. Donald DeLay's the artist on this Cash Grab too. This book looks like it's going to be great. I'm going to be backing it. I don't know if I've backed it yet. I have to double check, but I'm definitely going to be backing this book. It looks awesome. The first one was really hilarious, and Cecil definitely needs to do my companion book for Dirtworm Doug, which is the book that was in the Doug TenNapel book in the first Cash Grab campaign. He's got to do a follow WTF Mike, or what the fuck? What was it? Not WTF Mike. Sorry, WTF Mike. Mike Smiller. Mike S. Miller.
On the mind.
Yeah, it's on the mind. Thanks, Mike, for getting in here. Anyways, Mike Smiller, we got to do a follow book called Hey Mike, because in Comicsgate lore, Mike Smiller, Mike S. Miller used to fuck with him by throwing pictures of a cloud shaped like dicks and stuff that was shaped like dicks, and it used to piss him off. Like, he used to hate it. So they just do it even more and say, Hey Mike. So I was like, we got to do, and then of course he eventually hates Comicsgate and he hates us all, so he's kind of a hypocrite. And so he's anti-Comicsgate nowadays, but
Did he get dicked around too much?
the same thing as Doug TenNapel. Doug TenNapel came in trying to use Comicsgate to basically get the rights back to Earthworm Jim. If you don't know who Doug TenNapel is, he's the creator of Earthworm Jim. and he was trying to get a book that he could then use to get the rights back to Earthworm Jim. We helped him fund that book, and so when he got it funded, he just ditched it. He's like, screw Comicsgate. I got what I wanted. I'm out. And he shit all over Comicsgate. It's a real dickhead move. And so they made a book called Dirtworm Doug, and it kind of told the story of Doug TeNapel through the eyes of an earthworm that found his way out of a tapeworm, out of a dog's ass into the wild, and then tries to get back to the dog's ass. The dog's name's Hollywood, and he wants to get back up that dog's ass. Anyways, it's a great book. Go get that book. Get Cash Grab 2. It's going to be hilarious. And Cecil, you seriously need to do the Hey Mike book. Whether you use my artwork or not, get that book done. It needs to be done for this campaign. So, Cash Grab 2. It looks great. What else have we got here? Do I have anything else? Let me look at this. I don't think so. Oh, yes. One last thing. We're 1 hour and 25 minutes. What constitutes a doodle?
That's what happens when a poodle eats pasta.
So this took me 2 lunch breaks. Where am I at? What's going on here? Okay, 2 lunch breaks. Shit. Let me do this whole screen. 2 lunch breaks. This was an experiment. I was trying to do a new texture for Venom's skin, and it was a complete failure. I was trying to turn his skin into... Everybody draws Venom with, like, real glossy skin. Yeah. And I was just like, nah, what if, like, the skin of a Black Widow's abdomen, you know? It's, like, kind of glossy, semi-glossy, but it's not, like, super reflective glossy. And I went crazy with the... the line work here. If you zoom way the fuck in. I went crazy. Point. It's... I made a lot of corrections. There's a lot wrong with this drawing, but I was trying to do like a new style, and it wasn't working, or I'm just not that great at doing this kind of rendering. I'm getting there, folks. But it took me 2 lunch breaks to do it, and then I do these lunch doodles, and then every day I do one, I post it, and I'm like lunch doodle. But 2 days, that's like an hour. Maybe an hour and a half. That's not a doodle after an hour and a half, right?
Actually, I'm going to argue that it is a doodle. And my argument on that, my basis for comparison, is that a doodle must be comprised over the course of a homework assignment or test. A doodle is something that it doesn't matter where it's drawn, but it must be done, you know, like over the course of, like, you're supposed to be doing something else, but you're not, you're doodling. So you're on your test, you're on your homework assignment, you've got your piece of paper, and rather than doing the actual assignment, you're drawing something off to the side.
Yeah, thanks.
And that's exactly what you were doing on this.
That it was, okay. But is that a sketch? Could it be a sketch? Is that pencils? Is it ink?
No.
Can you do an ink?
No, because you can do an ink sketch. I believe you can, but that is something that is separate. Like, you have a separate amount of time where you have your separate book, your separate page that you don't have. Like, a doodle is something that you're doing that instead of the thing that you're supposed to be doing. And you were definitely supposed to be doing something else over the course of the time that it took you to draw this.
Most definitely. There's a lot I could have been doing, work-related. But I was doodling. It was my lunch break. I'm going to doodle.
That's it. So that's a doodle.
All right. And you know what? Noodling, all those... Some might say a noodle is where you're noodling with your pencil, but others might say all this, like, meticulous little line work here is like a noodle. It's like noodling. To me, it's kind of like noodling. It's like mindless little line work here, blah, blah, blah. I'm not, like, putting that much effort into it, and if you look at it clearly,
I do got to say I love the approach that you were thinking about the Black Widow, the texture of their, I think they call that the blueberry, their abdomen.
Yeah, I was trying to. Yeah,
I like that. That's a great idea for his skin.
Yeah, because it's not super glossy or shiny. It's actually, and his fingers too. I try to draw his fingers kind of like Black Widow legs. The reason I was thinking
That's
I had
horrific.
Black Widows on the mind was because I found a Black Widow, and this is the first Black Widow I've seen up here in Waco. So I'm like, I found it next to my grill, and I was like, I torched that shithead.
Ooh, yeah. You burn the whole house down.
But I was just like, oh, you know what? That'd be great texture for Venom. So I'm like watching it burn. I was like, oh, that'd be a great Venom right there. I could do his head. It could look like a Black Widow. And I'm like, why doesn't anybody draw Venom like that? He's a spider-ish. It's based off spider characters. Venom, you know, Spider-Man villain. It's like, why don't they ever use spiders for that, you know, as like references?
Because they definitely changed it up when they made Carnage.
Yeah, Carnage has nothing to do with spiders. But they could have made Carnage more Black Widow-ish.
Yeah, Carnage should have been more of like a banana spider, in my opinion.
They do have a banana spider, Spider-Man, Spider-Girl.
Well, I was going to say,
That's terrific.
Carnage,
in the multiverse.
The design
Horrible.
behind Carnage was mostly going to be like gore and blood, so it's like he's got like veins and stuff that makes up his design.
Yeah. And that's cool. Like, I like Carnage, but still.
Did you know they have a wheelchair Spider-Man? And the banana.
I didn't see that in Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay, so the banana Spider-Man, the banana Spider-Man, that's like some flamboyant, trans, flashy Spider-Man. Where is that? There's a Spider-Girl. Well, dude, come on, wheelchair Spider-Man. I googled it, and now I'm trying to find it. It's like literally this girl in a wheelchair using her crutch. There it is. Hold on.
Yeah, D&I says you can't search for that.
Open image. I don't know why it was so hard to find, dude. This is literally all over the place.
Well, maybe she was inside that movie, Into the Spider-Verse. She just couldn't stand up, so she's in the background, you know, hidden away.
All right, here we go.
They got her doing paperwork where she belongs.
She's shooting fucking webs out of her crutches.
That's horrible.
And of course, she's like in a wheelchair
with a rainbow towel.
Oh, I gotta get rid of all these X's. Like, Reddit hates me. Reddit's like, I know who you are. You're not allowed here. We don't want your kind around here.
So anybody who is in a wheelchair and who is watching this, like, if you were into it, cool. Like, I
like it because they made
you're not going. Yeah, like, I don't see how you could be. Like, I'm just saying, like, if you're into it, cool. I'm not trying to, like, yuck your yum or whatever.
No, I am.
But
they made it
seriously,
just for you, not
like,
me.
They're ham-fisting this crap.
By the way,
like saying, like, hey, look, there's a wheelchair. Like, by the way, there's a wheelchair here, so spend your money on this.
Holy shit! Look at this. I can't even zoom in because Reddit hates me. But okay, first of all, rainbow dress. So we got like rainbow. We're talking LGBT here, right? All right, who cares? No one really cares. But let's ham fist some more check boxes in there. But if you look at this bottom left panel, her legs are out forward. That means she's got control over her legs, which means she's faking it. And that's a bad representation. And right here, her legs are just dangling. They should be like, I feel like they should be flopping around.
That feet should be like,
They should be like noodles. They should be like flopping around. Clearly she's got control of this knee, otherwise she wouldn't be able to hike this leg up back here. They should literally be like...
You're misunderstanding the issue here, Peter. You are being very offensive because obviously it's her arms that are the issue. She's got crutches on her arms that have the spider web thing. That's where she's got the...
Well, I'm being insensitive maybe, but I don't know. Fuck, because you know what? She's in a wheelchair. If her arms are messed up, then why is she sitting down, lazy ass? She could walk just fine. And if you're making these characters like they say they are for representation so that people can feel like they're represented in comics, well, you're not represented because guess what? She's faking it. And so you look like a schmuck.
No. That person doesn't look like... The person like that person is not the schmuck. It's the people who like think that just because like their DE&I program is saying like, hey, we need somebody in a wheelchair And obviously, we need some more rainbows in we need more representation of the LGBTQ flag. So we've got the Spider-Verse. We've got all these different Spider-Men and Spider-Women. Let's just throw another one out there. They don't even have to be into the Spider-Verse. We're just going to have this one that we cram out just for the sake of just having it so that we can check some boxes, and we're good. We are inclusive.
There shouldn't be any muscle mass in her thighs, either do the atrophy. Yes, exactly. She's a fraud. And she's gay, which makes both wheelchair cripples and gays look like frauds and schmucks.
Well, it's specifically targeting.
That's what Marvel thinks of you.
She needs to have a neck brace. She needs a neck brace and an insurance fraud claim.
And like Down syndrome neck.
I was going to say, because Ben brought up a good point. Like, when you're in a wheelchair that long, your legs start to, I mean, obviously you're not moving them, so they start to atrophy pretty badly. On top of that, they're kind of lazy when they come to it. It's like that shoots it out of her crutches. When it's like,
that's
we're in
fucking
a world
stupid.
where you have, like, Iron Man and everything else. You couldn't have made it to where her, like, wheelchair, like, transforms.
It's impractical.
Accuracy
is insensitive, y'all.
Let's be realistic. Like, that spider costume is going to, like, the Iron Man the Spider-Man costume, like, nowadays is based on the Iron Man outfit, which is going to allow her to walk, right?
Now, to be fair,
this
isn't
go that far. It doesn't go that far. You could have something in the similar sense of, like, because they added a character. I mean, I guess the character might have been before Penny Parker. She's the spider person that rides around in a mech.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. That was in the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, but it's like they could have had it where the wheelchair transforms or like suit moves around and gives her the ability to move around where she still doesn't use her legs. And if they're wanting to be creative, shooting out webs, it doesn't have to be out the end of a fucking crutch.
Well, that's just
to reinforce the fact that she is impaired. Let's reinforce it by the fact, let's give her like arm crutches.
The only reason
let's also make that part of the weapon.
Is to show that she's still crippled while she's slinging webs up in space.
Yeah,
up
exactly.
Into the air. But that's stupid. It's impractical. She could do it even more practically with her hands.
And you know what? Even like I'll take all the impracticality stuff out of there because it's impractical for like, the various like different things that they put in all that stuff. That's all part of the nature of the thing. It's also ridiculous that like I'll even take the atrophied legs. I'm fine with the legs being fine because nobody is really like they invent muscles on like the armature on the like for the abs and stuff like that to make like all of these superheroes look way more human than is ever possibly human. So I'll be fine with the atrophied legs. But here's the deal. Here's my real issue with this is that if you are going to be representative of an LGBTQ person who is impaired,
whoa.
You create one. You make a good story and you create a character that has these impairments and you do a good story rather. You don't ham-fist the 1,000th spider person character just to have an issue, just to fit them into your program.
Marvel's renowned in DC too. They have these characters. DC's actually worse because they have an entire franchise of like characters that were created for black people by black people, and they just what is it called the something collection? Like I forget what they called it, but it's like it's a special comics that they just sit on. Instead, they try to like change everybody else and twist it because they would have to build an audience to release that franchise. Just like Spider-Man.
It takes work. You have to put some effort into it.
They've already got the Spider-Man audience.
That's what I'm saying. Put some damn effort. There is value in having that character. Like anybody here on panel right now, I guarantee could write a character in a wheelchair who is awesome. And I would say, like, I would take that a step further and say that anybody here could write an LGBTQ character in a wheelchair who is a lot more awesome than that Spider-Man.
I would actually go out and like meet some. I'd have to go what do they call that? Get like down and dirty. I'd have to go meet them, get in the community, go say, what is it that you see in yourself in a Spider-Man? What is it that you want to see?
Like maybe put some boots on the ground, put a little effort into your character.
Yeah. We should ask maybe Grok someday about that. Ben Soto says, hope she doesn't have to roll out of the way anytime soon or get knocked back with her chair strapped to her back. Oh, where's her chair? That's a good... Oh, that is her chair. Holy shit, I didn't even realize that. I thought it was a backpack. Oh, shit, I'm not sharing it. Hold on. Look at that. Look at that. Her chair is literally strapped to her back. Why doesn't she just sling around with the chair? She's using her crutches. Why doesn't she sling around with her fucking chair, sitting in her chair? That way she doesn't have to stand up at all. Just make a villain a staircase. Make the villain a staircase. Non-wheelchair accessible. That's good. The Stairmaster.
There wouldn't be any story.
No, there's a story there, bro. The Stairmaster, you got a little bit of misogyny and like you got race, you got misogyny and ableism all wrapped up in one.
I might have to call it a night, guys.
Looks like Richard Simmons. Actually, you know what?
Yeah,
we're at 40 minutes. I think it's a good time to call it all the way around. Thanks, everybody, for joining us and enjoying the show. You know, hit that like, subscribe button, and we'll go ahead and
welcome to being canceled.
You can't be
Left
canceled.
it on a high note.
I'm not like, I don't work for any industry, like, so I can't get canceled.
Not now, you don't.
No, that's fine. But I'll catch you all next time.
Now get out! And I'll tell you when I want you back!